Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Make It with Ashley. Today we have these gorgeous layouts that I just adore. They are from the Happiness Lives Here workshop. So that is a kit that comes and it has these three layouts that you make. I've kept one of them about the same, but I have revamped the other two with the idea from Bonnie Bishop Tula, who's just amazing. You should check out her work if you haven't already. So I'm going to walk you through my process and what I did to create these three two-page layouts. So let's go ahead and get started. So I used the brick background for these pages, and then I kind of used some scraps that I had from the actual kit itself. It does have a lot of punches and die cuts, which are super awesome. You'll see I'll use a lot of these flowers around the edge of the circle. So I did measure about 3 inches up from the bottom to lay my paper and my zip strips down. On my circle, it is a 10-inch diameter circle, and I have about 2 inches on the right side of the page. And I just cut that out with my Cricut, and then I took a kind of a rectangle on my Cricut cutout and was able to slice that 2-inch section off. Glued some little zip strips that I made at the top and the bottom. Now, I wanted to make sure all of this diagonal paper is going in the same direction behind my layout so it has some coherency. So that little wooden decal that you see, again, that was a random punch out that came from the kit. Same thing with those little flags I'm gluing in the corner. So one of the nice things about the kits is it gives you a great idea, a great place to start if you're not sure what to do, but also if you're not thrilled about a layout, you normally have enough extra paper that you can kind of make it your own. So Bonnie ended up kind of just completely revamping, and I've been seeing these circle layouts all over the place. So I really wanted to try my hand at this, and it is so much fun to do. And you'll kind of see, look at it, you'll see my main pieces I kind of glued down first, and now it's the embellishment parts. And this is where it takes a while. I really kind of fiddled, played, stacked, moved. Another thing I was thinking of as I was placing these is dimension. I didn't want everything to be flat. Right, so my thoughts with layers is that I would have certain pieces popped up with 3D foam tape, some flat. So you can see me adding the wooden embellishments also. And that really kind of helps give it some texture, some dimension, and a lot of fun to it. Now, I did use liquid glass for my wood die cuts. I feel like they're a little bit heavier on the paper. I like that liquid glue dries fairly quickly, but it's still wet enough that I can kind of move it around and get it into the perfect position before it's set. For like my paper pieces, I tend to just use a basic liquid Tombow. I kind of go back and forth. And so you can see I'm kind of using my 3D foam tape to make some things pop out. Others I'm laying down as I kind of just work through and along my layout. Okay, so next I am adding some of the Stickles Goldenrod glitter glue. I've been a real big fan of glitter lately in my projects. Just enough to add a little pizzazz to them. So I've decided to cover the tops of all of my 3D blocks with the Goldenrod's, the glitter glue. And I think it adds a really nice touch to it. And then I decided I didn't want to do dots on this one. Instead, I wanted to use the goldenrod to just embellish the page. So I added it to the center of all of my flowers, and then you can see I add strategic dots, most of them in clusters of 2 to 3 around my page, and it kind of just adds a lot of pizzazz. So on to the next layout. So this layout is the one from the actual Close to My Heart page, the workshop. Now I did modify a little bit, but that's just like changing the location of the pictures, the picture size, not much, okay? So you can see I fiddle around with some stickers, with some placement of things. I always kind of like to place my big pieces first on my project, and then I will slowly glue down my pictures, and then finally I add all of my embellishments and pizzazz. So I really liked this layout. It's when we went to SeaWorld a couple years ago with my parents, and my dad got to feed the flamingos, which we all like to call his spirit animal. So I'm very excited to kind of add the journaling onto that. But again, this one's pretty similar to the one from the workshop. I thought it was cute. I like the design. Again, you'll see me using some 3D foam tape to pop up some of my shapes. I'm gluing down my wooden pieces with my liquid glass adhesive. You can see I use tweezers a lot, especially on stickers. I have fake nails, so sometimes it's hard to grab the small things and hold them where I want to see. Tweezers give me a better idea. I can move it around the page until I find that right placement and then stick it down. So those have definitely been one of my favorite things. So with journaling, one thing that I did is I went and I like to add some like little lines and dots around the edge of any kind of like dates or journaling. It adds just a pop, and it helps draw the eye to where we are. So SeaWorld, or I think this was 2017. Okay. So the last layout of our page, I am gluing down some zip strips. I am matting my paper, and you can see I'm kind of just working down. And one thing to pay attention to is, not yet, but on the right side of the paper, I do glue one of my strips on top of another piece of paper. It just wasn't quite big enough to fit. So I wanted to leave a little bit of room in that bottom corner so I could do a big floral embellishment. So there you go. You saw that yellow zip strip on top of that blue page. And then there's this cute little basket with flowers that you can add to your bicycle, which I thought was a really cute touch. Popped it out with some 3D foam tape. A neat idea that someone had is you put the little bitty beads inside of your wooden flowers. So I just did kind of a layer of liquid glass, moved the bitty beads around inside until it was full, and I liked it. And then everything was glued down. I don't have to worry about them coming out. You can see me gluing them in there now. Because they have the liquid glass on them. They're not going to go anywhere. So again, I am embellishing with my goldenrod dots. If you like this workshop and want to do your own, just order the Happiness Lives Here workshop kit, and I will gladly send you my guide for free. Happy crafting, ladies and gentlemen.